and I know that I'm not alone. The song of the meadowlark sings to my soul, tenderly calling me home. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. La da na 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 na. I am walking beside the still waters, as fresh as the breeze at dawn. The voice of my ancestors whispering, giving me the strength to carry on. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. Surely goodness and mercy will follow, and love will be leading the way. Every shadow will shine in the fullness of time, and bloom in the hearts of the brave. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All manner of things shall be well.
You've given me wings to fly, a song to sing. The way that you touch my life, it means everything. And with my wings spread wide, now I know, I always know that I'll always have wings to fly. Before there was you in my life, I never realized, never knew before all that I could do in my life. And I was lonely, so very lonely. I never knew which way to turn. Should I cross that bridge or let it burn? wings to fly. The sweetest song, you gave it to me to sing. The way that you touch my very soul, it means everything. And with my wings spread wide, now I know that I'm gonna always have wings to fly. I look up and see, I see slivers of golden sun. Somehow it makes me feel part of everything, part of everyone. I never knew before life was such an open door, just waiting for me. Opportunity. Now you gotta look, now you gotta look at me so. 'Cause you give me wings to fly, a song to sing, the way that you touch my very soul, it means everything. And with my wings spread wide, now I know that I'm gonna always have wings, always have wings.
But hate is no part of the God I know. I know love is love is
Soft rain falls, teardrops of longing. How long will I call for union with you? For union with you.
I was reading my old journal, took me back to a time when everything was closing in. It felt like darkness all around, and I wrote it all down, and this is what it said. We got a long way to go to get through this tunnel, got some hard work to do to get things right. It's such a long way to go to get through this tunnel, but I think I finally see some light. Oh, I think I finally see some light. We were full of frustration, we were driven by fear, we were searching for some sanity. We were paralyzed with worry, we found no comfort there, had to open our eyes and see. We got a long way to go get through this tunnel, got some hard work to do to get things right. It's such a long way to go to get through this tunnel, but at least I finally see some light. Oh, I think I finally see some light. Well, sometimes you gotta look back to see where you have been, to figure out just where you are. 'Cause in the middle of the tunnel, it's easy to forget that you've come this far. We got a long way to go to get through this tunnel, got some hard work to do to get things right. It's such a long way to go to get through this tunnel, but at least I finally see some light. Oh, at least I finally see some light, and I know it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Columbine Spiritual Center, where, centered in God, we celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Let's all stand for our first joy song.
Whoa, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. Everywhere I shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
We're just making this up as we go.
We are.
Good morning. Thanks for the music. Oh, God. Good, I think you guys should. If I could have all the kids come up, I think most of them are already up here, but if you want to come up, we like having you come up. Yay, there's our Gwen. So come on up, and good morning, Columbine. And we're so good to see you. Okay, so I think that we're both having the same lesson. I think you guys are learning the same thing that we're going to be learning, and it's about the golden rule. So that's what we're doing today. So check in with us if you see any of us, or parents check in with your kids and see if you got kind of the same message. We're, of course, doing some glitter with ours. I don't think Sue has glitter for you guys. I don't know. But so you might see some glitter around the church. Just remember, it'll be golden glitter, so it will remind you of the golden rule. So anyways, and I think you can bless us out.
We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We see the Christ you are.
I have to tell you a little story about this song that I hope you all know. Well, you're gonna pick it up if you don't know it, but it's called "Lovity Love." It's written by our sons about maybe 18 years ago. They got a request to submit a jingle for an ad for Oscar Mayer. And they came up with this song called "Lovity Love." They came in second place, so they didn't get paid anything, but it's been sung a lot of times. I missed it.
I told you we were making this up.
Oh, 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 there's love, love, love in the air. You see people making faces like they just don't care, because love is simple and love is free. Love is there for you and me. Here's the chorus. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, there is love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, there is love. When there's love, love, love in the air, you start to notice all the people loving everywhere, because love is happy and love is kind. Love is yours and love is mine. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, there is love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, love, love-ity love. When there's love, there is love. Now this is the call and response. When I say to you love, you holler love. Or when there's love, and then you holler back love. When there's love, love. Good. When there's a love, love. Good. When there's a love, love. You guys are awesome. When there's a love, love. When there's a love, love. Love-ity love. When there's love, love. Love-ity love. When there's love, love. Love-ity love. When there's love, there is love. When there's love, love. Love-ity love. When there's love, love. Love-ity love. When there's love, love. Love-ity love. there is love, there is love. Oh, you guys, that sounded great. Thank you so much.
And you may have noticed this is not Seth Larson. And we extend our prayers to Seth and his family this morning. He wasn't able to be here because he's supporting a family medical situation. All is well, and we just send our prayers for all of them. But we thank you, Kevin, for supporting your friend Steve here and providing this wonderful music for us. So this is the time when we shift our energy into a more contemplative part of our service. So with some music from Steve and Kevin, and then a prayer from and meditation from our prayer chaplain, Tink Hansen, we will settle into that.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here.
Let's just stay in prayer. May it be with the blessings of the divine being that we are here together. We are here together in our hearts, in this beautiful community, in this beautiful sanctuary, to be reinvigorated with the truth of who we are. We know that we, because of who we are, we treat ourselves with honor and respect and love, and we give that out to other people. And we do that because we do the right thing. We do the right thing. We do the ethical thing. We live by the golden rule. And because we honor ourselves and we honor other people, we are able to spread this energy to everyone we come in contact with, and then they spread it on. So give the guy, when you're vying for a parking space, give the guy the spot and just wave. Give someone $5 at the checkout who's short. Give out king-size candy bars and see what happens at Halloween. But until all 8 billion of us get on board, we can only just do these small things and live our truth of who we really are. And it is such a blessing, and we are so grateful. And as we go into our 2 minutes of quiet meditation, let's connect with the truth of who we are.
When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Wow, look at that. They changed the graphic and everything,
Oh my
Kevin.
gosh. Look at that. Our names are in light.
I tell you, Bonnie is just the best up there.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Seth, of course, wished that he could be here today and changes the dynamic a little bit, but my amazing friend Kevin always steps in and he can play anything, luckily. So I was kind of looking through my archives here last night trying to get prepared for today, and I found this song that has a very familiar tune, I think, if you're old enough. And I discovered that I was asking around this morning, and most of you aren't old enough. You know, with credit to Chris Christopherson, who was the original writer of this song, some years ago, Vicki and my granddaughter Sophie and I performed this song, and we rewrote it as if Chris Christopherson was a member of Unity. It's got a familiar chorus sound, and the tune is familiar, and if you want to jump in and pick up the words, feel free. So. When it's heavy and the road feels too steep, we are needing to keep ourselves standing tall. Thank you, Spirit, for the love you convey as you show us the way on this journey we share. Please guide me, Spirit. I've waited for so long to be here and know I belong. Now that I know that I'm whole and I'm worthy of love, and I am finally free. Fill our souls with your generous light. Help us get through the night as we're thinking of you. Sweet Spirit, fill our hearts with your love. Send a message of the light that we are. Please guide me, Spirit. I've waited for so long to be here and know I belong. Now that I know that I'm whole and I'm worthy of love, and I am finally free. I am finally free.
Thanks, Steve and Kevin. Perfect song for today, actually. There was a luggage carrier at the airport, or luggage handler, working, a traveler had come up and wanted his, he's checking in. I didn't start that very well. He's checking in. He's checking in, and the traveler's just rude to the guy working for the airlines and just obnoxious and not kind at all. And he gets done and he moves away, and the woman behind him, standing in line behind this rude traveler, says to the employee, like, how do you be so kind to somebody? How did you not lose your cool with this guy who was being so rude to you? And he said, I just look at it this way. He's going to New York, but his bags are going to Brazil. And it may feel really good in the short term to retaliate like that. But today we're talking about ethical living. So, it's not good for our souls in the long term. And we're on week 3 of 7 weeks of this book, Essential Spirituality by Roger Walsh. And it's been a journey. There's a lot of practices in here. There's a lot of stuff for you to do, to work on, to become more aware of who you are as a spiritual being. And this week is about ethics, which, when I first knew what the topic was, I'm like, oh, boring. But here we are, week 3 in our small group program. So the other day on Friday, one of my neighbors texted me and said, hey, Sue, some of the women from the neighborhood are getting together to paint rocks. Would you like to join us? We're meeting at 4:00. I'm like, ooh, I have never painted rocks before. So I said, sure. So I show up and she's like, BYOR, bring your own rock. And so we showed up, and I was so nervous. I said, I'm a virgin rock painter here. I don't know what to do. And they all have painted rocks, and they have these rocks, and there's a lot of owls. And you want to show that first picture? So this is our parliament. It's kind of hard. You can't really tell, but there's a whole bunch of little owls on there. And that's the parliament. A parliament is a group of owls. Who knew? It can also be called a congress, but we're not going to go there. We're talking about ethics today, but we're not going to go there. So what they do is the women, they said, this is what you do, Sue. You hold your rock in your hand and you think, what does it want to be? What do you want to be? And so I'm holding this rock, and I thought, a penguin. I don't know where that came from, but it wanted to be a penguin. And so then I did the next, so I painted a penguin. I was really, and they get pictures, you look online for pictures that you can copy. And then my next rock was like, well, this is a fish. Clearly, it's a fish. So I want to show my two, there's my penguin and my fish. So, they're cute, and they're at the parliament with the owls, which I didn't know everybody was painting owls, or I would have tried to gone for an owl. But when they said, what do you think it is? Like, well, I didn't see an owl. I saw a penguin. So, but I Googled penguins, because what do penguins represent but love and community and taking care of each other and relying on each other to live their best behavior. I'm like, go figure. I'm talking about ethics, and here I had this penguin wanting to become alive in my stone, in my rock. So I love that. And penguins, as the weather gets colder, they huddle in like this spiral, and they move around in a circle so that each gets a chance at being warm in the middle. And I thought, that's so lovely. That's ethical behavior at its best. Taking care of each other, doing right. And they feel good, feel warm by doing good, by being there for each other. And fish, of course, represent, in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary says, ideas that bring increase. And you notice my fish had a smile on his face. Happy fish. A happy fish and a happy penguin. So just laying the groundwork for you here about talking about ethics. And right in the beginning of the book, of this section, Roger Walsh talks about the golden rule. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, is found in the Sermon on the Mount. It's found in the book of the Gospel according to Matthew. And one of my spiritual direction courses last year was all about the golden rule. You may have been here when I said, like, oh my God, another week of the golden rule. But really, it really is the basics. You want to show this graphic? It's the basics of all of the world religions. Every world religion has its form of the golden rule. That we need to treat people well. We want to treat people the way we would want to be treated ourselves. We all want respect. We all want to be treated with dignity and love and respect. And this is why it's the foundation of all the religions to do this. There's a few copies back there if anybody wants one of these, but it shows all these different religions: Buddhism, Taoism, Sikh, Christianity, native spirituality, Islam, Judaism. They all have their own version of this. I have lots of props today. Where to put everything. But we all deserve the same love and kindness. And you sung about kindness this morning too. So we need to show up as our best selves to be kind. The golden rule is a great reminder of that. We need to have reminders around us sometimes because it's so easy to get wrapped up in what's going on in the world, what's going on with the news, what we're seeing out there, instead of coming from within here, within that space, that loving space within us. So even when things seem to be falling apart, we can survive and thrive when we recognize and become more aware of the spiritual beings that we are. But why should we bother? Don't you sometimes think like, well, why should I bother? They're not bothering. He's not bothering. She's not bothering. Look at our world. They're not bothering. Well, if not us, who? If not us, who? Roger Walsh says, unethical living is destructive to both oneself and others, whereas ethical living can bring happiness and also awakening. We know we're doing good when we experience the fruit of Spirit. And the fruit of Spirit is stated in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. It says, the fruit of the Spirit is love. I don't think I gave you this one, maybe not. Is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. 9 qualities that we experience when we're coming from that place within, that spiritual essence, that goodness, that godness that is within each one of us. We experience the fruit. So if you want to question what's going on, am I following Spirit or am I following something else? What is the fruit? What is coming to you as a result of whatever behavior you're expressing? It's a great test. We want to be careful how we're showing up. When we don't show up in integrity, with ethical living, with rightness, there's an immediate emotional cost to us and a long-term cost. It's us we are the ones that suffer when we lash out. We get stuck in our own resentment. It's not a fun place to be. He says, Roger Walsh says, what we do, we become. What we do, we become. So watch what you're doing. Or if you don't like what you're seeing around in your world, in your immediate circle, What are you doing? How are you treating people? How are you treating yourself? We want to be careful how we're showing up and what we're doing. It might feel good to send somebody's luggage off to Brazil in the moment. But would we want that for ourselves? There's the golden rule. Would we want somebody to do that to us because we were rude? Does it really teach that rude traveler to not be rude? Probably gets more angry and expresses it on someone else or projects it on someone else. Until we see that goodness within us, we're not able to express it. I showed this video in January. We were introducing our theme, which is Live Out Loud, and it's mainly designed for leadership, but it's so important to ethical living too. Like, where are you? Where are you? Are you above the line or below the line? Some of you may remember it, and if you do, great, because you get to watch it again, because I watched it 4 times yesterday, and I'm still not bored with it. So let's show this video.
Location, location, location. Brought to you by the Conscious Leadership Group. Find them on the web at www.conscious.is. Animation by Graham Franks. www.grahamfranks.com. One question that conscious leaders ask themselves over and over is, where am I? To support leaders in locating themselves as they ask the question, where am I? We offer this tool, a line, a simple black line. At any moment, all leaders and all people are either above the line or below the line. Our location describes how we're being with what is occurring in our life right now. If we're above the line, we are open, curious, and committed to learning. If we are below the line, we are closed, defensive, and committed to being right. Stop right now and simply ask yourself, where am I? In this now moment, am I above the line or below the line? Typically, when people are below the line, they believe certain things about the world. For example, they believe there is not enough. It could be that there's not enough money, or time, or space, or energy, or love. People below the line also believe that their story about the situation is right. People below the line also believe that there is a threat out there. Something or someone is threatening their desire for approval, control, or security. And people below the line see the situation as serious. The deeper below the line they are, the more serious things look. People below the line tend to behave certain ways as well. They tend to cling to an opinion, find fault and blame, gossip, explain, rationalize and justify, get overwhelmed, and avoid conflict or pursue conflict for the sake of winning. When people are above the line, they believe that learning and growing are more important than being right. They believe that all people and circumstances are their allies, here for their growth. They believe that from a distance, almost everything is funny. People above the line live in curiosity, listen deeply, speak unarguably, question all their beliefs, and live a life of play. Now, knowing what you know about being above or below the line, where are you? One thing to know as you consider this question. We are hardwired to go below the line. Literally, our brain is programmed to perceive threat, and when it does, a chemical cocktail courses through our veins, and we go below the line. This reaction was designed to help us survive in the presence of a real threat to our physical survival. An issue for modern-day leaders is that often our brains can't tell the difference between a threat to our physical survival and a threat to our ego or identity. We react and get defensive when we experience a threat to our ego. So in many ways, being below the line is natural and normal. But when we are below the line, we're not in a state, literally brain state, of high creativity, collaboration, innovation, and relational connection. We're simply trying to survive. Leaders today can't thrive if they're in survival mode. So the first activity of conscious leadership is location, location, location. In this now moment, where am I? Telling ourselves and others the truth about our current location begins the great conversation.
So, yeah, it's a great video, a great reminder, because we all dip below the line. all of us, every one of us dips below the line at some point, and we can lift ourselves back up. So Ann and I both have this in our offices, as a reminder. Are we behaving above the line or below the line? So, and when we get below the line, it's just an invitation to be gentle with yourself and to raise it up. Rise up. You don't have to stay there. You may want to stay there, but it's not a fun place to be because it just escalates. But it does, it's so easy to be nasty. It's so easy to be nasty. Why is it so easy to be nasty? But it is. It is. Because we feel threatened. Our ego feels threatened. But in order to grow, in order to come into a greater awareness of who we are as spiritual beings, we have to let our little self die and die and die and die over and over and over, constantly. Jim Lockhart is the author of Becoming the Beloved Community, and he says that he was at the Unity Convention in June, and he gave a keynote, and he said, bad things happen fast. Good things take time. We react fast, but if we're willing to pause, it takes a little more time to respond with love than to react fast. And the media doesn't report the good stuff because it's not breaking news. They report what they think is breaking news, which is the bad stuff. And so that's what we see. That's what we experience. That's what we hear when we watch the news. It's almost like we expect the bad now, so breaking news should be the good stuff. It's breaking news when you hear a good story. Confucius he was influential in Chinese culture for like 2,500 years, and he wanted to get into politics. And he went from province to province to find a job where he could get into politics, and then he finally got one, and when he got into it, he didn't like it at all. He said, there's too much backstabbing, and it's too treacherous, and a lot of oppression, and it wasn't for him. Too much trickery. So instead, he started teaching, and he started teaching on morals. And he influenced Chinese culture for a long time. He was the first one to make this learning available to people who weren't nobility. And that's why he had such an influence. But he had what Walsh calls a central sacred question that we all have. And if you've seen the discussion questions for next week that were in the update on Thursday, one of the questions is, what is your central sacred question? What question do you find yourself wanting to answer throughout your lifetime? Confucius had this one: how do we live wisely and well? How do we live wisely and well? Do you have a central sacred question? Something to think about, to ponder. We've been watching New Amsterdam, the first season, and the medical director, I don't know if you watch it, but his question is, how can I help? How can I help? He's always asking everybody, how can I help? But according to Walsh, to live more ethically and more kindly, we have to focus our attention on three things: right speech, right action, and healing the past. So right speech is about the words we say and how we say them. It's the third step in Buddhism's eightfold path. We have to use our words wisely and compassionately. Buddha says better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. There's an Eastern wisdom story where an ancient king has a dream that all his teeth fall out. And so he brings a wise man in to interpret the dream for him. And the wise man says, well, Your Majesty, it means that you're going to outlive all your relatives and you're going to be alone. Well, the king didn't like this interpretation, so he sent him away, banned him from the kingdom. You're out. Brings in another wise man who says, what does my dream mean? And this wise man says, oh, rejoice, king. It means you're going to live a long life. In fact, longer than any of your relatives. Long live the king. They basically said the same thing. But it's how they said it. This guy got a bag of gold. How they said it. Our words matter. We want to heal, not hurt, inspire, not injure, bless, not burden. And one of the really harsh things that we do as human beings is gossip. I think that's on there. Is that on that sheet? Yeah. Gossip. I mean, we all do it. We all have gossiped. We've all been the object of gossip, and we've all been the speakers of gossip. It's one thing to really watch in our speech is how we talk about other people. And we can stop and pause. Would we keep saying what we're saying if that person was right next to us? Would we keep saying what we're saying about someone if they were walking into the room? It's a good test. Is it gossip? Would you be proud of what you're saying? Gossip can be very hurtful. I don't know if you did this here at Columbine, because this was a number of years ago, and we were in Michigan then, and we had a guest speaker his name was Will Bowen, and he wrote a book called A Complaint-Free World, and you wore a rubber bracelet on your arm, and anytime you complain, you're supposed to not complain for 21 days. Really hard. Anytime you complained, you had to move it to the next wrist and try to keep it there for 21 days. Did you do that here at Columbine? No? It's really good practice. So what if we did that as a gossip-free? No gossiping for 21 days. You gossip, oops, start over, move it to the other wrist. Could be an interesting practice. So that's right speech. One of the things to focus on to live in integrity, to live an ethical life. Then right action. What is beneficial to everyone? What action can you take that is beneficial to everyone? The 10 Commandments laid down law to train people to behave well towards each other, to take right action for themselves and for others. But I love how Eric Butterworth, one of the Unity's ministers, beloved ministers, wrote a book called Breaking the 10 Commandments, where we look at what is the spirit behind that commandment. It's not thou shalt not, thou shalt not. It's how do we want to live ethically? How do we want to live and treat people well? How do we want to live rightly? Not because it's a rule that says we have to, but because it's the right way to be. It's the right way to live. It's the right way to treat each other. And then we feel good when we do good. You ever notice that we do feel good when we're doing good? We sow what we reap. Do we want to reap the fruit of spirit, or more anger, more angst, more resentment, more battles within ourselves and others? And then the third thing that he talks about is healing the past. And healing is always possible. Remember, notice that I didn't say cures are always possible, but healing in consciousness is always possible. We can always heal resentments or heal how we relate to someone in our minds, whether they're in the physical realm or not. Because if we're relating to them in our minds, we have a relationship with them, whether they're in our lives anymore or not. So we want to heal any past hurts with forgiveness. bless them, bless yourself, make a better choice. There are lots of exercises in this book, beginning on page 137, for you to practice in these 3 areas of focus. It's not easy, is it? It's not easy to live ethically all the time. We're human, and we get caught up. The world doesn't demonstrate it for us, does it? A lot of times. Depends what we're focused on. So one of the questions is, what is your central sacred question? I had to really work on this, and I still don't have a question. But how can I make a difference? How can I help people see their own value? That's one of mine. How can I help women have a voice? That's another. I don't know how to put them all into one question yet, but I got to keep pondering that. I'll recognize it when it comes. So this past Wednesday, I don't know if Anne knew that she was doing this, that it aligned with ethics, but in our staff meeting, Anne asked us as a staff to come together and to come up with an affirmation of how we want to show up for each other. And then we pulled pictures out of this book and little poems, and we decorated this page, and this is mine. And the affirmation we came up with, so this is also in my office. I need lots of reminders. This is the affirmation as the 5 of us on staff came up with. We are strong in faith. We are the flow. We express the light of God. All is well. And so we decided as a staff, that's how we want to show up for those that we serve, for all of you. And I love this picture that I found in the book. It's called Universe Inside, that we're all one, that all of us are together. It's she says in the poem, a clear and sure reflection, we are all one. It's a beautiful picture. You can look at it later if you want, but reminders for ourselves to live ethically, because it's not easy. When I got ordained, every Unity minister and every licensed Unity teacher has to sign a code of ethics, and then we have to sign it every 3 years. And it's a good reminder of how we're here to serve, how we're to show up for you. And then as ministers, I think the LUTs as well, have to take a class on ethics every year, a continuing ed class. And this year, I took one at the Unity Convention, and we were asked to contemplate this verse. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and put a new and right spirit within me. It's from Psalm 51. That's not a request for a God, some God outside, but the God within. Create in me a clean heart. Create in me a clean heart and put a new and right spirit within me. It means to release that stuff that covers the spirit that's already there, the goodness that's already there, the love that's already there, that each of us has within us. We all have this ability to create a new, clean heart. According to the World Happiness Report in 2023, the crises we've faced the last few years has made us happier and kinder. I never would have thought that. That's good to know. Instead of being hard-hearted and reclusive, we've been much more helpful and much kinder and much more supportive with each other. And while the U.S. is not in the top 10, we went up one notch from number 16 to number 15, the top 10. So there's hope. We're right behind Canada and Australia, but we have a ways to go. We have a ways to go. And it starts within each one of us. So we might think, well, why me? Why does it have to start with me? I've asked myself that question years ago, like, why am I always the one? Well, Look at your circle of influence. Look at the people who are in your life. Maybe it's your family, your friends, your coworkers. You have a circle of influence. Your good behavior, your ethical behavior, your kind-hearted, loving behavior invites them to behave the same way. If you're a parent, you know your kids pick up on everything you do more than what you say. So we invite people into a better way of being, a more loving, kinder way of being. Think of the fruits of spirit and behold the goodness in yourself. Behold, I love that word behold. It's not a word that's used much except in the Bible. Behold my son, behold. Richard Rohr says this in just this. To behold is to allow and to taste the awe and wonder. Once you decide to behold, you are present to what is, without the crutch of your preferences or the false ledger of judging things as important or not important. He goes on to say that when we behold something, we realize how much we are held. We are held by spirit. We are held by this love's presence that is always with us. It's an invitation to behold and be held. Walsh ends this section by talking about one of the Beatitudes of how we can reach higher levels of ethical living. And he says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." They shall see God. That's the promise. Seeing God, seeing the goodness, seeing the love, seeing love's presence, seeing all the peace and joy that is available to us, that we will experience that. That's the promise. When we allow ourselves to have a pure heart. And purity, in this case, I got this from Emmett Fox, the Sermon on the Mount. It was the first New Thought book I ever read years ago, and just felt like a sponge just soaking it all up. But purity means that we recognize there's only one power and one presence in the universe. It's pure spirit. It's unity's first principle. There's only one power and one present. And so when we have a purity of heart is like he calls it our subconscious mind. That we start doing it automatically. Our subconscious mind does things automatically. When we start being pure of heart, we automatically step into this sense of knowing that there's only goodness, there's only love, there's all that other stuff. It's a big wasp right there. It's all that running covering my eye. But blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. They will see goodness. The rewards are great if you're willing to practice. So this week, practice. Take one of the practices from the book and practice it. We're in spiritual community together so that we can support each other in this kind of work. So whether you're in a small group or not, you have an opportunity to practice not gossiping. Practice right speech, right action, healing the past, letting go. Until we really get it, we'll feel good by doing good. Namaste. Peace be with you.
I've been waiting for a sign to come along and shed some light. Tell me which way I should go, 'cause I can't stay here anymore. I've been looking all around, seen the changing of the clouds, but the sky's been growing cold, and I can't wait here anymore. And if it rains, well, let it fall. Let my heart be open wide through the storm, through the storm. And if it rains, well, let it rain, let it pour, let it pour. Let my heart be open wide now and evermore. Oh, the silence comes and goes with the truth that I have known, not in fullness, just in part. Oh, these days are getting dark. Oh, I'm not going down. Oh, I'm not going down. Oh, I'm not going down. Ooh. And if it rains, well, let it fall. Let my heart be open wide through the storm, through the storm. And if it rains, well, let it rain, let it pour, let it pour. Let my heart be open wide right now and evermore.
Thank you for the music. And Steve, when you sang, I'm not going down, this is what I thought of. I'm not going down here. So tied very nicely. It's interesting how things like that happen when we pay attention to our intuition. So this is the time when we are going to speak together our purpose statement. So please join me in that. We commit to increasing our spiritual awareness, diversifying our community, manifesting our highest potential, and positively impacting the world. And in whatever ways you can impact this particular community, we are grateful and we receive with much love and gratitude everything that is shared here. One of the ways, of course, is financial support because things cost money. And so this is the time in our service when we do invite you to share from your treasure. So let's say our offering blessing together. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. And as the ushers pass the offering bags through the sanctuary, let's turn and give a wave to our online viewers. Thank you for being here with us. We are grateful that you're here. There we go. Thank you. And your presence matters. So we're grateful that you're here and that we have this technology that allows us to include those who can't be here in 3D. Okay, we've got a lot of announcements to get through today, so let me be quick. Sister Carmen, many of you are familiar with. We are doing a food and we're doing a drive of food and household needs, such as Band-Aids, things like that. You can see the list by clicking on the link in your Thursday email update. Now, can anybody be the spearhead for our creating a new sign that's more visible at the street? If that's something that calls to you, speak to me, please, and we will get you started on that process. I have to warn you, it does involve looking through some Boulder County regulations. Thank you, Tink. So, but you know, some of you love that kind of thing. So step right up. Thank you. The Youth of Unity. The cow has special significance, which you will learn about if you attend this info session. And Raven Jane is going to bring us up to date on what Youth of Unity is and what they work to accomplish. And so if you have any connection in your heart or in your life to teens, please think about joining this info session, and we will just, even if you just want to know more about what happens with our Youth of Unity, Wednesday, October 18th in Foss Hall. The art show and fair is getting organized, so if you have art that you would love to show and possibly even sell to our community, please look in your weekly update for the sign-up sheet for this. It's coming November 3rd through 5th. And for what we're going to do for the next few weeks is at the end of the announcements each time, I'm going to invite someone up who's a leader of one of our ongoing groups so that they can tell you a little bit more, so that you can all be a little more informed about the ongoing groups. So Katerina Getchell is here today to help us. Come on up, Katerina. She's going to speak about the Good Grief group that she and Karen Van Vuren organized.
Okay, thank you. So as she said, I'm Katerina Getchell, and I'm a co-facilitator of the Good Grief group with Karen Van Vuren, who's a prayer chaplain here. We were both certified grief educators by grief expert David Kessler. We meet in person downstairs on the first Sunday of every month after fellowship. The belief of our group is that while loss is painful, it can also be an opportunity for spiritual growth and transformation. Our group is unique in that we combine the power of community, prayer, and a healing energy transmission with practical tools to work with the neurobiology of grief and trauma. What we hear from our members is that they feel lighter and more present after our meetings, as well as being empowered with the tools to work with their grief in between meetings. We welcome you to join us, whether the source of your grief is a loved one or pet dying, a relationship ending, or any other major transition. A love offering which supports both Unity Columbine and the facilitators is appreciated. Please look for me in Foss Hall if you'd like more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katerina. That is very helpful for everybody to have that information. And I wanted to also share with you, for those of you who know Peter Knudsen, who was fairly new to our congregation, I have sad news. We learned that Peter transitioned last month. And we just learned of this, and a service has already been held. So unfortunately, that was held elsewhere. So we are... we're just holding Peter and his family in our prayers. And if you have any, we can try to get some contact information if anyone wants to send a message to Peter's family. Thank you. Prayer chaplains for today, Brooke Lindquist and Betsy Balmer. Thank you so much. They will both be available to you to celebrate or be lifted up as your life needs. And now, and we do definitely include Seth and his family in our prayers with everyone here. So thank you again, and let's stand for our peace song.
Okay, we're going to try something a little different today. So, imagine that. So kind of hang in and be prepared for a little bit of different ending. There be peace on earth and let it begin.